Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Beltway Boxing News and Notes on the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. We thank you for joining us once again, and we're back after a little bit of an absence. Of course, the holiday weekend had a lot to do with that. We hope you and yours had a great Thanksgiving weekend and ready for some big events coming up in the next week or so. Actually, for the next month, we're going to have some huge events coming up. And one of the things we'll do on this podcast today is we will preview all three, as best we can, all three of the December cards that'll be in the Beltway coming up starting on Saturday, December 1st. And we also have some recaps, some late recaps on something that took place over the last couple of weeks. So thank you for joining us. And don't forget, you can hear the Boxing on Beltway podcast on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio.com, TuneIn, and on Stitcher.com. And also, don't forget, I'm on Twitter at Digital25 as well. Beltway Boxing News and Notes on the Boxing on Beltway Podcast Network, brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas, for shoulder pain and muscle strain and everything between, Boxing on the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. And I'm actually working with Real-Time Pain Relief right now because I have a stiff neck. And I'm putting on Real-Time, and it's working very, very well so far. So we thank you very much for supporting Real-Time Pain Relief. Of course, you go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on. The pain is gone in real time. And by DeborahSpears.com, where you have great jewelry that she's selling. First purchase is 20% off. And also we have weight loss tips that I've been saying that are free. And they really are not. You have to really kind of purchase the books that Deborah Spears has. So they have weight loss tips. You can do it without dieting, eating real food along the way at Deborah, Debra Spears.com. And also don't forget to go to the pages for Best Buy and Amazon. Hey, Black Friday just came by, and of course you have Christmas coming up, so you may want to go on to the links to Beltway, to Amazon and Best Buy on the blog, boxonthebeltway.blogspot.com, and purchase through the blog, and that'll help us out as well. Well, before we get into our previews for this upcoming week, I should say, the upcoming month, got a couple things that took place over the last couple of weeks, and we want to kind of really focus on that. A couple weeks, we had two Beltway boxers, young in their careers, and they won bouts over the weekend on the East Coast. In the Sands Bethlehem Event Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Travis Holy Toledo, the transplant out of New York, now fighting out of Baltimore. He went the distance for the very first time in his pro career. Won a 4-round majority decision over Kendo Kaneda of Pennsylvania. Once again, that was the Sands Bethlehem Event Center. No word on the scores on the bout, but Toledo went on to win it by majority decision. Toledo is now 3-0, 2 KOs, while Kaneda loses for the first time. He is now 2-1. So congratulations to him, to Travis Toledo, and then also Nigel Fennell out of Salisbury, Maryland. We kind of watched him through the amateurs, and he fought a few times at the Golden Gloves and fought in other places around the Beltway area. Originally out of Richmond, Virginia, but now fighting out of Salisbury, Maryland. He's in the Down Under gym down there. And he scored a second-round TKO over Steve Moore of Orange, New Jersey. That was at the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey. These bouts took place on Saturday, November 17th, by the way. And the knockout came at 2:37 of the second round. Fennell is now 2-0, 2 KOs, 2-0, 2 KOs, and Moore falls to 1-6, 1 KO. So congratulations to both Nigel Fennell and Travis Toledo. Now, this past week in the amateur ranks, this last week as well. Amelia Moore, she competed at the Women's Elite World Championships in New Delhi, India, earlier in the month, and she lost a decision in her first bout there. The U.S. team had a really tough time during this competition, and Moore had really one of the toughest duties of all. She faced a boxer from the home country of India, in Simranjit Kaur Bath, and it was the most loud, most energetic, and the loudest crowd of the day. Both women fought very hard. Moore would lose a 4-1 decision in that event. Now, I don't know how I think it's ending today as we record this. And I don't know, so far only 2 boxers from the U.S. have advanced past the quarterfinals. So it was a tough learning experience for the USA Elite Women's Team. Meanwhile, at the dual meets at the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, two members of the men's elite team, the USA men's elite team, who also happen to be in the same camp as Amelia Moore in Alexandria, Keyshawn Davis and Troy Isley, they were involved in that event. And Davis, well, I tell you, he's had an outstanding year on the international level. He won his bout in the dual meet, took on and defeated Enrico La Cruz out of the Netherlands. And meanwhile, his partner, middleweight Troy Isley, he lost his contest. No word who his opponent was, but he lost his bout in those dual meets. They only competed once. There were two dual meets, and Isley and Davis both competed one time during the first dual meet. And American boxers won 6 bouts during those meets. So congratulations to Troy Isley as well as Keyshawn Davis. Even defeat Troy Isley, being a part of something like that is amazing. No question about that. Now we get to the previews for what is going to be a dynamite month. I guess we can call it the Dynamite December in the Beltway. 3 cards in 3 different locations all throughout the Beltway. We have one in D.C., one in Maryland, and one in Virginia. That's the way it should be. So after not starting the Beltway season as far as local bouts, local cards until May of this year, we've come back and we finished up very, very strong with 3 cards in 3 weeks. Now, the first one is Saturday, December 1st. It'll be at the brand new Entertainment and Sports Arena in Southeast Washington, D.C. And I've had the pleasure now to be at that event at location twice. I've had, just as a point of fact, I've had a couple of auditions with the Capital City Go-Go of the G League NBA team for the Washington Wizards. And they've both been at, of course, the Entertainment Sports Arena. That's where they have their home games. This is a beautiful arena, folks. You're going to love this place. It only seats about 4,000. If you add floor seats for the boxing card, probably get about 5,000 there. Every seat in that place is a great seat. You're not that far from the action. In fact, you're not far from the action at all, really. And it's a remarkable venue. Park will be interesting to see what happens there, as well as it's not that far from I believe it's the Congress Heights Metro stop in Southeast D.C. But it is a very nice location. You're going to love it. And this is going to be a great card. The Tricky Entertainment card, DC Fight Night, also involved with this, Saturday, December 1st. Now, if you have Facebook, you may have heard this news already. But for those who have not, the big news is who's not going to be on the card. And that, of course, is going to be Dusty Hernandez Harrison. Dusty Hernandez Harrison, the undefeated DC welterweight, he's going to have to withdraw from this card because he had a forearm injury. He suffered a injury during training, and his bout will be called off. There's no way in the world, according to his father, Buddy Harrison, that he will be involved with this bout. He can't. There are a lot of things he can't even do right now because of his injured forearm. So Dusty Harrison now off of this card, and that will turn the spotlight probably on Tori Nelson, who's taking on Sana Turunen on this card. And she is going to be defending her UBF middleweight championship on this card. So that what looks like the main event of this card. Now, some of the other bouts on this card, Alexander the Great Johnson, he will return for the first time since August of 2016. He'll take on the dynamic warrior Mengistu Zarzar. He's a Brooklyn Park, Minnesota by way of Liberia, although I've read somewhere he may be actually fighting out of D.C. now. I don't know. But Alexander Johnson, 16-4-1, 7 KOs. He is not far, as we said, since August of 2016. He battled Igor Menkontsev to an 8-round majority draw in Tucson, Arizona. Now, some of you may remember the story a couple years ago. Prior to this bout, Johnson took on Artur Beterbiev and was the first man to go longer than 4 rounds with Beterbiev, who's now a world champion. And after that, his trainer, Daryl Tyson, Terrible T. Tyson, told me personally he would never fight another Russian boxer. Well, Metkontsev is a Russian boxer and from the Russian Federation. And turns out he fought very well against him, fought him to a draw. So tough one there. Now, Zarzar, makes his second straight trip to the nation's capital. He's 6'5" and won 2 KOs. And back on October 18th, that was at the Mayflower Hotel when that Alarm.com card, where it's only for the employees of Alarm.com. Zaza lost a 6-round unanimous decision to Todd Unthank May at that Mayflower Hotel card. Now, Alexander Johnson, you may remember, also lost to Unthank May back in March of 2016. That was the card that featured Tony Thompson taking on Luis Ortiz at the D.C. Armory. Lost to him by 6-round decision. So that's a great bout. And that bout is scheduled for 8 rounds. Alexander Great Johnson taking on Mengistu Zarzar. On the 6-round bout, Greenbelt Maryland Cruiserweight Vanilla Gorilla Sam Crossett. He'll take on Twan Smith of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, Crossett is 7-0, 5 KOs, scoring a brutal first-round knockout over Josh Jones. That was in his last outing on June 16th at the Laurel Gardens Ice House in Laurel, Maryland. Right now, that is the clubhouse leader for knockout of the year in the Beltway. Smith is 3-1, 2 KOs. He looks to bounce back from his first pro loss, which was a 6-round unanimous decision defeat to Marcus Sanchez on March 16th in Oklahoma City. Also on the card, DC super lightweight Antonio Teflon Magruder. He will turn the action after more than 2-year absence. He'll face Gabriel Gutierrez of El Paso, Texas. That's about scheduled for 4 rounds. Magruder last fought in September of 2016, scored a first-round TKO over Ronnie Watson over the Sphinx Club in D.C. Gutierrez is 5-7, 3 KOs, lost by second-round knockout to Jonathan Navarro on March 22nd in Indio, California. I believe Magruder, is 6-0 with 4 KOs. I think that's his record. I'll double-check that. Silver Spring, Maryland heavyweight George Harris taking on Lamar Lewis of Arkansas in a 4-rounder. George Harris made his pro debut on October 27th at Rosecroft Raceway. He scored a second-round TKO over Damian Reed on that card. And Lewis is now 0-3 going into this bout. He lost by third-round TKO to Maurice Jones in his last bout on June 23rd in Augusta, Georgia. Also on the card, Beltway boxers Jordan Short Dog Wright, who's 5-1, 4 KOs, and Terrell Boyd of Baltimore. He'll make his pro debut on this card. And they're looking for opponents on this card. Another boxer on this card is going to be Keontae Irving. He's out of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. He'll take on George Shepard of Virginia in about that scheduled for 4 rounds. Keontae Irving making his pro debut on this card. He's making his pro debut on this card. He's a 2018 Golden Gloves champion, National Golden Gloves champion, and he's scored. And he's 2-0, 2 KOs. Excuse me, Irving's 2-0, 2 KOs. He scored first-round knockouts in both his bouts. Shepard is 1-4-1. Looks to bounce back after being knocked out in the first round by Joseph George on September 22nd, Fort Myers, Florida. So that's that card there. And back to some of the Beltway boxers, I had to look up the events that Tori Nelson is going to be on. Nelson, again, taking on Sana Turunen of Tuusula, Finland. And it's going to be for Nelson's UBF middleweight title. Nelson, of course, 18-2-3, 3 KOs. He bounced back from her 2 losses to Christina Hammer and Clarissa Shields. Scored a 6-round TKO over Tiffany Woodard. That was on August 4th in Sterling, Virginia at the Michael & Son Sportsplex. Nelson has won 11 world titles in her career. Meanwhile, Turunen is 4-1-1, 1 KO, making her very first trip to the United States after competing in both her native Finland and in Paisley, England, where she lost a 10-round unanimous decision to Hannah Rankin for the WBC Silver Middleweight Championship back on June 16th. So Tori Nelson taking on Sana Turunen. This bout scheduled for 10 rounds. It looks like that will be the main event on this card. Also on this card, DC welterweight Kareem Remo Martin. He'll be in a 6-round contest against veteran Jose Arturo Esquivel. He's from Ciudad Saucilo, Chihuahua, Mexico. Martin is 10-2-1, bounced back from a loss last November and he won a 4-round majority decision in a really, really tight bout against Kevin the Scarecrow Womack. That was back on June 30th at the Sphinx Club. And a lot of people, myself included, we thought that bout should have been maybe a draw, if not a win, for Kevin Womack. Womack fought very, very well on that bout. No question about that. Also, on Esquivel, by the way, he's 10-8, 2 KOs, facing a Beltway boxer for the 3rd time in his career. He suffered a first-round TKO in his last bout against Antoine Russell. That was on August 4th at Uniondale, Long Island. And he also, back in May of 2016, lost an 8-round unanimous decision to Lamont Roach Jr. That was in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's the card for the December 1st show, Saturday, December 1st, and that's going to be at the Entertainment Sports Arena in Southeast Washington, D.C. That should be a very interesting card, no question about that. Then on Saturday, December 8th, action moves to the A.C. Jordan Arena at Bowie State University. This is the Shabazz Brothers card, and this should be a very, very good card as well. This is going to be interesting. Of course, we talked about the main event and the co-feature. The main event looks like it's going to be Greg Outlaw out of Bowie State and Bowie, Maryland, of course, Bowie State graduate. He'll battle Baltimore, Maryland's Mac Pappy Allison the fourth in the bout scheduled for 6 rounds. As I said, Outlaw headlined the last card at Bowie State back on September 22nd, won a 6-round unanimous decision over Rashad Boger. He's 6-0, 2 KOs. Allison 8-1-1, 7 KOs. He bounced back from his first pro loss, won a 6-round unanimous decision over Rynell Griffin at the Michael & Son Sportsplex on August the 4th in Sterling, Virginia. And, of course, one of the co-feature bouts, Luther Lights Out Smith taking on Joshua Temple. Luther Lights Out Smith out of Bowie, Maryland. Coming off a loss, both men coming off losses. Smith is 10-4, 9 KOs, has lost 2 straight, 3 of his last 4. He was knocked out in the first round by Alexei Igorov back on June 2nd in Atlantic City. Temple is 7-1, 6 KOs. He'll try to bounce back from his first pro loss. He lost on October 6th, lost a 6-round split decision to Ketai Pliev in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, some of the other bouts on the card now. Interesting all Beltway 4-round encounter, which I think comes a little early. And especially on one side, I'm wondering why he took this bout. I really do. Clarksburg, Maryland middleweight Mark Sales Duncan. He'll take on Hanover, Maryland's Ashton the Goon Sykes. This bout scheduled for 4 rounds. Now, Duncan is 1-0, 1 KO, made his pro debut on the last Bowie State card on September 22nd, won a 2nd-round TKO over Janelle Christmas. Now, Sykes is looking to bounce back from the bout that I think right now is the clubhouse leader for Beltway Boxing Bout of the Year, and that's his great bout, although Sykes lost it by 6-round TKO to Donald Wallace back on August 18th at Maryland Live Casino in Hanover, Maryland. This is... I don't know if Sykes could walk into this. I know Duncan only has 1 bout and 1 win, but Duncan looks very good, and I was impressed by his performance on that card. This will be interesting. I think it's really kind of dangerous both ways, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. That's a 4-round bout. So Ashton the Goon Sykes taking on Mark Sales Duncan. That bout's scheduled for 4 rounds. Also on the card, Baltimore, Maryland heavyweight Hasim Gold-Blooded Rockman Jr. He'll take on Kendrick Houston of North Carolina, a 6-round bout in the heavyweight division. Rockman Jr., of course, 6-0, 4 KOs. Last fought on August 17th, won his first 6-rounder by unanimous decision over Raymond Oching in Hinckley, Minnesota. Rockman said he was not 100% for that fight. So we'll see what happens now that he's back in the same good situation. Houston is 1-3-1. He got that 4-round majority draw in his last outing as he took on Roberto Thomas White back on August 11th in Salisbury, North Carolina. Also scheduled for this card, Damon the Best Addict Nicholson, coming off that great win he had. He's out of Laurel, Maryland. He's a WBC US NBC Super Middleweight Champion at 19-3-1, 18 KOs. Also undefeated UBF All-Americans Welterweight Champion, Michael the Professor Fox, out of Forestville, Maryland, 18-0, 4 KOs. Bladensburg, Maryland Featherweight, the Dark Menace Tierra Brown, 6-0, 4 KOs. And by the way, congratulations to Tierra Brown. She put out for the Thanksgiving holiday gave away some items to a deserving family recently. Of course, she's also a police officer in D.C., and it was a great giveaway that she had in her name. It was fantastic. So congratulations to her. And also Baltimore super middleweight Sharif C3 Rockman, Hasim Jr.'s brother, is 3-0, 2 KO. All those boxers are looking for opponents. So that's the Saturday, December 8th card at the A.C. Jordan Arena on the campus of Bowie State University. Shabazz Brothers card there as well. Now, our third card of the month, Saturday, December 15th, and we'll be at Tyson's Playground, a brand new location, a fitness and performance center in Vienna, Virginia. The address there is 8502 Tyco Road in Suite B in Vienna, Virginia. This is a TAC Promotions card, and after the last card, which I didn't get a chance to go, and I kind of took myself out of the going to the card. I was supposed to be the announcer for the card, ring announcer for the card, because of the importance of the show on September 22nd at Bowie State University. I had to pull myself out of the card in Virginia. And it wasn't until that card finished that I realized what their game plan was. And the more I think about it, I don't like the fact that they didn't have many Beltway boxers on the card. They really didn't. But when I started to write up the preview of this card, I saw the game plan. And the more I thought about it, the better I like it, as long as there is a preponderance of Beltway talent on the card. And in this case, they did it. They did it right this time. And what they did was they put together local Beltway talent with impressive out-of-town prospects. And that's what they did the last time, really, because the number of boxers that they had on that card back on September 22nd, a number of them had fought on Showtime before. So they had legitimate pedigrees, no question about that. And I think this time they've done it again. They did an outstanding job. Now, the only thing about this card, it's still a couple weeks away, 3 weeks away. They don't have any matchups for this bout. But let me tell you who's on this card so far. It's going to be on this card so far. Here are the Beltway boxers, first of all. Hyattsville, Maryland super lightweight Patrick YG Pat Harris. He's scheduled to headline his third straight TAC Promotions card. Harris is 14-0, 8 KOs, coming off an 8-round unanimous decision over Stefan McIntyre on September 22nd, back at the ABC Sports Complex in Springfield, Virginia. And Harris did win his first title on this card, the American Boxing Federation Colonial Atlantic Super Lightweight title. Small title, but hey, this is a guy who's been brought about very slowly and has really progressed as he's gone along. He's fought very well. Again, nobody really knocks out Stefan McIntyre. McIntyre's a tough guy. Doesn't have the best record in the world, and a lot of people got to wonder why this bout was a title bout. But again, I think it was a late notice situation. And again, Harris got some rounds is the big key there. He got some rounds on that one. So YG Pat Harris scheduled to be on this card, and goes congratulations to his father, Boogie Harris, number one for being inducted into the Washington, D.C. Boxing Hall of Fame. And of course, for his role in Creed 2, out now in theaters. He plays one of Adonis Creed's trainers for that bout, for that movie. So congratulations to him as well. Big year for him as well. Also on this card on Saturday, December 15th at the Tyson's Playground in Vienna, Virginia, District Heights, Maryland super featherweight Ronaldo Misunderstood Gaines. He's on this card. Gaines is 9-2, 3 KOs. And again, the last time I saw him fight, which was his last bout, May 12th in Sterling, Virginia, the Michael and Son Sportsplex, there was a lot more of a focus in Ronaldo Gaines. Of course, as we talked about before, he's been through a lot. You know, he was shot about a year or so ago, a little over a year or so ago, and also he had a cancer situation that I believe he's overcome. So this is interesting to see what happens. But I saw a lot more focus. He's back with the headbangers, and there's a lot more focus with Ronaldo Gaines. So we'll see what happens there. He last fought, as we said, on May 12th in Sterling, Virginia. Stopped Johnny Frazier in the first round. Looked dynamite in that one. And interesting thing about Ronaldo, this is be the second straight bout he's had in Virginia. All his previous bouts were in D.C. So now he fights in D.C. in Virginia for the second time. Now, fighting in Virginia for the first time in his career is Landover, Maryland lightweight Tariq IGB Irby. He's 5-0, 2 KOs. Irby's fought most of his bouts in either D.C. or Maryland, including his last bout, which is a rematch against Lamont White. He won again by 4-round unanimous decision, like Stefan McIntyre. Nobody, and I mean in this case, nobody knocks out Lamont White. He's never been knocked out. And Irby won a 4-round unanimous decision on the September 22nd card at Bowie State University. Irby said 5-0, 2 KOs. So he's on this card. Waldorf, Maryland welterweight Rashad Cold Blue Kilpatrick is scheduled to be on this card. Kilpatrick's 3-0, 1 KO. He appeared on the September 22nd card in Springfield, Virginia, won a 4-round majority decision over Carlos Pena. Bowie welterweight Marlon the Machine Boland's on this card, and Boland made his pro debut on the June 16th Jetta Promotions card at Laurel, Maryland at the Gardens Ice House, knocked out Christopher Thorne in the third round. So those are the Beltway boxers on this card. Now, the out-of-town boxers scheduled to appear. One of them is a guy by the name of Michael Slick Anderson. He's out of Newark, New Jersey. Anderson is 16-2-1, 12 KOs. He's been out of the ring 3.5 years, and he returns after scoring a first-round TKO over Johnny Frazier, who also lost to Ronaldo Gaines. Very interesting. He lost to Frazier. He knocked out Frazier, I should say, in the first round in June of 2015 in Weirton, West Virginia. Also, Port Chester, New York, super welterweight Lee Rodriguez competes for the second time as a pro. With his pro debut, he needed just 72 seconds to knock out Jason McClure in Greenville, South Carolina, back on October 12th. Abner Bam Bam Guadalupe will be on this card. He's from the Bronx, New York. He'll be looking to change his fortunes in Virginia. He lost his first pro bout on the September 22nd card, dropping a 4-round unanimous decision to Jason Kelly. Guadalupe has 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. And making his pro debut on this card, interesting pro debut here, a guy by the name of Zach Dubnoff. Zach Dubnoff. He's out of Little Falls, New Jersey. He's a super middleweight. And after an amateur career, he will turn pro. And he'll turn pro at the age of 30 years old. And he won 3 of his last 4 contests as an amateur. I don't know how good he is. I don't know if he's one of those boxers that appears in other bouts, or does he appear in Golden Gloves and Silver Gloves and so forth? We don't know. But he's 30 years old, making his pro debut, and he'll be on this card. That's Saturday, December 15th at Tyson's Playground. And once again, Tyson's Playground is located at 8502 Tyco Road in Vienna, Virginia. So, again, 1 in D.C., 1 in Maryland, 1 in Virginia. That is the way it should be. And D.C. looking at a brand new venue now, the Entertainment Sports Arena. This is the second time, in the venue for the A.C. Jordan Arena and Bowie State University, and our first time at the Tyson's Playground. So, can't ask for anything better than what we've got right now. And it's been interesting. So, one other thing that Warren Marshall and I have been involved in, hopefully, we plan to have coverage of all 3 of the cards, hopefully play-by-play coverage of all 3 of the cards. We'll see what happens as we go on. We can't definitely say that, but we'll see what happens if that happens. But be as it may, it should be an outstanding month. Not only that, of course, you got Jared Hurd defending his titles, his IBO, his WBA, and IBF super middleweight championships. Super welterweight championships against Jason Wellborn. And that's at December 1st at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. And also Lamont Rose Jr. will defend his title, and that'll be on December 15th at Madison Square Garden. We'll talk more about that next week, but he'll defend his one of his WBC, I believe is a silver middleweight championship on that card, December 15th at Madison Square Garden in New York City. So a lot going on, as we can now continue to say, in the Beltway. After a short, tough first part of the year, we've gotten to be rolling, we've gotten going, and we end up in a big way coming up in the month of December. So stay with us right here on boxonthebeltway.blogspot.com, and of course, all the time on our podcast as well. Beltway Boxing News and Notes on the Box on Beltway Podcast Network, brought to you by Real Time Pain Relief. Go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And by DeborahSpears.com, great jewelry, great weight loss tips, Deborah, Debra Spears.com. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Thank you so much for joining us as always on the Box on Beltway Podcast Network. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have a great week. And always remember, keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. Thanks for listening. Take care.